All right, welcome in to episode number 3 of College Hockey Southwest Weekly. Tom Callahan's with me as always. Tom, welcome back to Tempe.
Thanks, Scott. Time's flying. I can't believe we're already towards the end of October. There's so much going on right now.
It's crazy busy with hockey, but success always makes it more fun, I think. And the Arizona State Sun Devils tasted more success this weekend, didn't they?
Well, it's the old sing when you're winning, right?
Right.
And you come away with 2 big wins on the road. And a road trip, especially from, when I was in the NHL, you hear a lot of the players say, getting a road trip early is a bonding experience. It helps bring a team together. It helps to kind of get away from the distractions a little bit. And just, you're with your teammates far more often. Here you go your separate ways maybe after practice. Everybody does their own thing. But on the road, you're in the hotel together. You practice together. You spend a lot more time together. And I think that something like this early on can be a good bonding experience for this ASU team.
A good bonding experience, but they also played a team that was desperate. We talked about it in last week's show about how desperate Huntsville would be. I think they quelled that a little bit on Friday. It showed like maybe ASU didn't play as well, but I think it might have been a push from the other side that made that game closer than they wanted it.
I think it was a little bit of both. Huntsville came out and they knew they had to jump on them Friday night, much like Arizona State knew they had to jump on Ohio State on Friday night when those 2 teams went head-to-head. And so I think there was that. And there's also getting your legs under you a little bit on a road trip like that. So, but at the end of the day, the better team, I think, won. I think Arizona State was better in both of the games of the weekend, certainly much better on Saturday night. And they come away with 2 well-deserved wins.
So they come back with 2 wins. They improved their record to 4-2-0. More importantly, though, and you mentioned this last week, we both talked about it, there was a pitchfork that was circling around the radar screens, and we were wondering if it was ever going to get on it. You got to start somewhere, right? So 1 vote in the poll is better than no votes in the poll, correct?
That's right. 1 ping, 1 pitchfork now on the radar. So congratulations. First time the schools, really, they're getting people to take notice.
Yeah.
They're really starting to make an impact, and this program is taking big steps this year. This is going to be, it's a tough schedule, as we talk about all the time. Even with UNO coming in this weekend, they're not playing great, but that doesn't make them an easy out. Like, this is a big year for this program, and I think getting a vote, showing up a little bit right now in national radar, Scott, is huge for this team.
Well, 2 things that I noticed, Tom, in this program. Number 1, knock on wood again, they stayed healthy.
Yes.
And the competition level is extremely high level, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have a hard time getting into the lineup if you're not already in the lineup. And the guys that are in the lineup do not want to relinquish that spot because it's fun to play and it's fun to win.
Right, and that means you have to work hard in practice. On days like this where you're out there working on the drills, 5-on-5, special teams, whatever it is, you've got to show the coach why you belong in the lineup. If you're not in the lineup, you've got to play twice as hard to get in and maybe show why you should displace someone. And if you're in the lineup, you got to play twice as hard to stay in the lineup, especially when you're going well and the team is winning, you have to continue to perform. And that's the important thing. It's, okay, great, we've gotten to this point, we're coming off a good weekend series, but now 2 big games coming up Friday and Saturday night, and that's where the focus is.
Absolutely. So it's another 2 games here at Oceanside. But in the college hockey world in the Desert Southwest, we've also got another huge game this weekend. We've got North Dakota and Minnesota playing up in Vegas, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see them bring that college atmosphere, college hockey game day, basically, to Vegas. So I'm going to be up there for that. You'll be down here for UNO and ASU, and we're going to look forward to a really fun week of hockey, right?
It's exploding everywhere, Scott, and I think this is a great time to be involved with hockey in the Las Vegas community, in the Phoenix community, and the Southwest in general. I think it's great because the game is growing, and there's more and more players who are finding success at all levels, and it's an exciting time. It's growing, and I'll tell you what, there might not be a better place for hockey just as a fan right now than going to Las Vegas for a game.
All right, we're going to come back with our first segment. We got Frank Ferreira with us, the Senior Associate Athletic Director at Arizona State. We'll jump in with that. We'll be right back. All right, welcome in to another edition of College Hockey Southwest Weekly. If you've been around Sun Devil hockey, you know this fella. He's been at every game, I believe, since they started. Is that right, Frank?
Just about. Trying not to miss anyone. And my son also, Frank Jr.
Absolutely. Frank Ferreira is with us from Arizona State Sun Devils. And give us your complete title as how you...
I am the Chief Financial Officer and Senior Associate Athletic Director for Sun Devil Athletics.
Tell us about your love for hockey.
I've been a fan ever since I was a little kid. I grew up in Long Island, New York. I was a Ranger fan, right? So you can imagine how hard that was.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the success that the Islanders had. But it was something that I got from my older brother and my father, who were also very big New York Ranger fans. And when I came here 3 years ago now, right around coincidentally the same time that we started Arizona State hockey, Ray Anderson, our athletic director, gave me an opportunity to oversee the sport, and it was just a natural fit, something that I love and am truly passionate about.
You've seen a lot of ups and downs, like growing a program, You're going to see that. One of the biggest highs we were just talking off camera about was the Las Vegas Invitational that you guys had a chance to not only play well in, but capture in the very first year. And I know the excitement. I saw the excitement on your face there. But
absolutely.
Relive that moment for me. What was it like for you and the program and your son?
It was special. It was something that was needed right at the right time. You may recall we were coming off of a few games where we didn't perform as well. And we had some good teams in there between Boston College, who we didn't get a chance to play, but Michigan Tech and Northern Michigan were playing very good hockey at that point. And, I think safe to say our program needed just one small victory at that point.
Yep.
And we played fantastic hockey the entire weekend. And for me, you saw the happiness on my face because it's about the guys. I saw what it was like for them to run on the ice and get a chance to feel what success was like, and that's what a young program needs. We have on our wall. We have the steps that it takes to building a program, and winning a tournament was one of them. So it was about the guys and obviously the coaching staff. I wanted so badly for them to feel success, and that translated into me. And you mentioned my son was there, of course, on the ice, but right off the ice was my daughter and my wife as well. So it's a family affair.
Let's talk a little bit about the process in Sun Devil hockey. And first of all, you got a great coach in Coach Powers.
We do.
Able to elevate him right from the club level on the national championship. And talk a little bit about what him and his staff has done to build this program in just 3 short years.
Yeah, well, listen, college hockey has fantastic coaches, all the programs, but Greg, from my standpoint, he is the perfect coach for our program. Right? We have somebody that is going to be able to build a team, be willing to endure the bumps and bruises and the challenges along the way. And you're right, he has done a fantastic job. Greg has the ability to understand that this is something that's in for the long term, right? Coach Powers is someone who knows that this will be a long-term thing. He is a Sun Devil through and through. So I'm looking for the words to describe him. The best thing that I could come up. If I had to pick up one word, is that he's a true Sun Devil, right? For sure.
He's a true Sun Devil, and he's a goalie, so he's got that persistence, doesn't he?
Does have that persistence for sure.
So let's talk about this team. Did you, I watched this team since the start, right? I watched them since club level, right? I know what it takes to build a program a little bit, and I've been watching this build like a steamroller. I knew this spring, I knew this summer, and I knew this fall. It confirmed it to me that this team is for real.
It is for real. Well, I think so far, it's for 6 games, we're playing hockey the right way. Very strong defensively. Joey Decourt has been phenomenal in net, right? For sure. I believe we've only given up 4 even strength goals in the first 6 games. And that's saying something, right? And we're playing 2 games against Ohio State as well, which was the #1 ranked team. So we're playing hockey the right way, and it shows that if we have the right guys to buy into the system and we play a good defensive core of hockey, we could beat anyone on any given night if you play that way. It's just building on confidence. So our schedule is very difficult, as you know.
Absolutely.
All right, it is a unique schedule as being an independent team, and we know that we need the right kids. We're going to have challenged each and every week, and this will build the games against teams like Ohio State will certainly help us as we go throughout the season against opponents in 2 weeks. We're playing Penn State, and even when we have our Desert Classic hockey tournament at Gila River the weekend between Christmas and New Year's, we have 3 top 10 teams coming in between Clarkson, Minnesota State, and Duluth. So we'll have to be ready.
So let's talk just a little bit about, we talked about the coaches, we talked about the players. Oceanside, where we're sitting right now, has embraced this team. You guys have done a fantastic job with making it home. Every kid I talk to, from the veterans to the rookies, tells me the same thing. They love it here.
Right.
This is their home. They make it a home ice advantage. You've seen ice rinks growing up.
Yes.
Out east. I've seen them in Minnesota where I grew up. This is unique, but it's home, isn't it?
It is home. It's home, and up until the Ohio State series, we've never been swept here.
Right.
All right, so that's saying something. 2.5 years with a new program, so it is a bit of a home ice advantage, right? For sure. It's relatively small. The students support us. They come out, and it is. I think we hold about 850 people here, but we've done a good job of packing it. I've always joked that there's going to be a time when we get to a new arena that there's going to be aspects of this place that we miss,
Right.
and I think that the people that are close to the program all agree. All right, so this is part of our home. This is part of our tradition. So
the obvious question from everybody is, how big can this program get? I'm calling them, they're going to be a ranked team in my book before the end of the season. I think there's aspirations, if things were to roll all your way, that there might be an at-large bid for you into the tournament, but that might be a year or so away. But give me your opinion on how far this team can go.
Well, I don't know that there's a limit per se. I'd be hesitant to start making a prediction for this year. Again, we're 6 games into it. I believe that when the rankings came out yesterday, we received our first ever vote.
Yes, you did.
So the opportunity is there. Let's just say that the opportunity is there. If we play hockey our way, the sky is the limit. But again, we've created a schedule to help these guys along, to make sure that they have the challenges, to play the best that the NCAA Division I has to offer. So if we do our job, sure, the opportunity will be there. We have a different road. Being an independent, we don't have a postseason conference championship to win, so we would have to make sure that we do our job, win our games, and get the pairwise. And obviously the difficulty of scheduling, that our schedule would provide that opportunity. So I don't know. You're asking for me to put a limit on it. That's awfully hard for me to do. I wouldn't. Yeah, I certainly don't feel that there is one. But I know one thing, that we're going to be better tomorrow than we are today, and that goes for next year as well.
So my job, and part of the reason that I founded this company, is to grow hockey in the Desert Southwest. As I see it, it's grown exponentially with what Vegas has done and what you guys have done. And for hockey fans in the Desert Southwest, just reconfirm that hockey is here to stay, right?
Hockey is here to stay, certainly at Arizona State, and it's a great question. Because it's an important one. We have a responsibility, obviously, to our athletes and to grow this program, but we also have a responsibility to grow this sport. It's a great sport, and we have tremendous brands out there. We have 60 tremendous brands. But, if there is an issue, is it hasn't grown to the level that it should.
Yes.
It's the best kept secret in the Michigans, the Minnesotas, and the Massachusetts, and the Northeast. But people out here need to experience and grow and enjoy it. And I believe that, there are a lot of eyes on us. Starting a hockey program from scratch is very hard to do. It is not easy. There's a lot of challenges with facilities and growing a team. And I think that, like I said, there's eyes on us. This administration under Ray Anderson, we're good at doing hard things.
Yes.
Right? That's for sure. We're good at doing unique things. There's eyes on us, and if we succeed, I really hope that there'll be other institutions, other universities in the Pac-12 and out west that would follow suit.
And I want to finish things up with just one question for you is, you guys brought in a guy named Herm Edwards in the football department. How much does Herm's charisma, his knowledge,
it's contagious.
Everything he brings,
it's contagious.
Is it contagious through the entire staff?
Yeah, it's not just football. All right, Coach Edwards is a great coach, and that's for sure. But he's also a great human being. He's a teacher of men, and just having him on the staff, we all learn from him. We could all learn from his his leadership, but the way he presents himself, his style, his grace before the cameras, in victory and defeat. He is a special person, and one thing I know for sure, obviously those 110 men that he oversees are going to be better football players. For sure, they're going to be better men, and that's something that I know Ray Anderson and the rest of the staff, we're proud of the fact that we were able to bring someone of Coach Edwards' caliber to lead our football team.
Well, Frank, I appreciate the time. Let's keep the winds
Will,
coming
Dan.
this direction, and
Absolutely.
let's talk again throughout the season, and
We will.
definitely in the spring when we get closer to that pairwise.
Absolutely.
Thanks
All right.
again.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in here on College Hockey Southwest Weekly. Tom Callahan, joined by Dom Garcia. Dom, thanks for joining the program. We appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
I want to get your thoughts just on the season so far for ASU, how things are going. You guys are sneaking up the pairwise a little bit here, making an impact, and a pretty good start to the year.
Yeah, I think everyone, obviously the freshmen coming in, they're huge. They're huge to our team, but I think us returners, we can feel something different in the locker room. Like we stated in our Pac-12 interview, when we lose now, it's no more moral victories. We're all upset. So there's no more helping hand. We're all just kind of diving in, and we expect to win. So I think that mentality is starting to creep into our locker room and really change our atmosphere.
You've got a letter on your jersey this year. What does that mean to you?
It means everything. I mean, I love all the guys in the locker room for them to accept it, and that means a lot to me. Obviously, I have the utmost respect for all my teammates and my coaches. So everyone in there is a leader in one way or another, whether it's more of a vocal leader or they do it on the ice. Everyone has an impact. So the fact that I'm one of the people wearing a letter means a lot.
As far as the leadership group goes, do you guys sit down and talk maybe with coach or amongst yourselves about, what roles you need to play within the team or how you need to go about the business of showing these guys, hey, this is where we need to go with this program?
I think a little bit. We talk almost 4 or 5 times a week just in our group chat that we have. But everyone that has a letter knows what type of leader they are and accepts it, and they don't try and step out of their boundaries or anything like that. So we have a really good group there that works well with one another. And, it's been going really well. So.
You're a Las Vegas native, right. And the NHL is exploding in Las Vegas right now. Now you've got a big college hockey game coming there this weekend. What is it like to see your hometown just growing into hockey so much right now?
It's been great. I mean, last year was pretty special. So, it sucked being away from it instead of being there live to enjoy all of it. I was fortunate enough to go to a Winnipeg game in the playoffs, but it's great. Now you drive around when I'm home and you see hockey stickers all over everyone's cars and custom license plates, and it's just unbelievable. I wish I would have had that kind of support growing up playing. So the kids nowadays are definitely pretty lucky.
I would imagine that now, if you're starting in hockey right now in Las Vegas with everything that's happened, it's got to be a pretty incredible time.
Right, yeah. They built that whole new practice facility that UNLV plays out of and the Knights practice out of, and that's just unbelievable. So just the amount of support that it's getting, you don't really have to leave home as much now anymore to go play and find good teams, and that's pretty amazing, and I'm sure the parents love it as well.
Do you feel like that is part of like the big showcase right now going on this coming weekend with North Dakota coming down to play? I mean, is that just all part of the growth and part of the explosion?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's already a hot topic there in Vegas. So if they can bring in college hockey and really get that support, it's only going to help UNLV. So I think it's a great move. I mean, I wish we were playing there again this year just to be in front of family and friends, but I'm happy to see the game growing in Vegas, that's for sure.
Well, by extension, I mean, it helps you guys too. And hockey in the Southwest feels like a bit of a foreign entity, but now it seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and that's great too. You can see the support that's starting to seep in more and more each game or each home game. Just on social media too. I know all the time Mitch does a great job on the Instagram and all that, and you can see all the support we get, so it's great.
Just not an easy schedule for you guys just to go back to the team for a minute here, but like I say, you've come through the series against Ohio State, you went out to Alabama Huntsville, got a couple of wins, now you've got UNO coming up. Just your thoughts on where this team is right now, 6 games into it.
We feel good. Obviously, it's still pretty early, so we have things we want to work on, but the only thing we don't want to change is our compete. We want to keep that steady, and we want to keep it at its highest. So moving forward, we have little details just because they're a skilled team, they're a good team, but the compete and the effort, it's not going to change. So.
All right, Dom, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Hey, hockey fans in the Desert Southwest. Ice Time Hockey Southwest is officially Bark approved. We're back to wrap up another week, another episode. Episode 3, Tom, already.
In the books.
It's happening quickly for us here at Ice Time Hockey Southwest and College Hockey SW Weekly. You look at college hockey, and obviously what we've seen so far has been a lot of fun, right? It's only going to get better, though. As we review this week and look forward to next week, we're going to talk a little bit about North Dakota and Minnesota coming to the Desert Southwest in Vegas, playing at the Orleans Arena. I don't know if you've ever been up there or seen it, but it's an experience.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of neat to think, and I think everybody maybe who's just kind of coming around to hockey in Las Vegas is like, oh, everything is T-Mobile Arena. There's actually a hockey history in Vegas. There was an IHL team there. There was a West Coast team there that eventually with the WCHL going into the ECHL and all that league craziness. But there's a hockey history, and the Orleans Arena is part of it. And the Wranglers played there for a long time, and you know what? This is going to be something neat for people now who maybe have jumped on board with the Golden Knights, get to see college hockey and get to see something that's a little different and get excited by it. And you never know. What I'm most excited by, Scott, is there could be kids sitting in the audience who now it will become their dream not only to play in the NHL for the Golden Knights, but maybe to go play for North Dakota, maybe to go play for Minnesota, maybe to go play for UNLV or ASU.
Yeah.
And they dream of playing college hockey.
You know, Tom, one of the things I think of that also is the fact that this could be a stepping stone for UNLV. There's no secret they have aspirations of becoming an NCAA team, and by showing the fans in the Vegas area what NCAA hockey is like, hopefully that's the next step for UNLV to make the jump.
Well, yeah, if they're going to make the jump and get the support, I think that's going to be a big part of it, is to show, hey, this is what the program could be. This is what we could build to, and that's certainly a big moment for them. I hope that game is packed. I hope it's sold out. I hope people are excited about it. So, see, perfect. It's already sold out. So I hope it makes a lot of noise up there in the community, and it leads to some success for UNLV, because as much as we cover ASU, I want to see hockey succeed everywhere. I want to see it grow everywhere. It doesn't matter to me where that is. So I hope it just rides a tidal wave for UNLV that leads eventually to a D1 team.
You know what? You hit it on the head last week when you said that hockey in the Desert Southwest and hockey everywhere is on the rise, right? And it's good, and there are no more traditional hockey markets. Every market that has hockey is a hockey market.
Right, and that if they're playing hockey, if there's ice, if there's boards and glass and a couple of goals, you've got hockey, and it doesn't matter where it is. And I've lived in, what they used to call non-traditional markets pretty much my whole career coming up. I've lived in all kinds of crazy places, Texas and Georgia and Tennessee, and now I'm here in Arizona. It's just, you know what? People are passionate about the sport and they love it. They're hockey fans.
Let's wrap up this week by talking a little bit about our favorite thing, the poll and the pairwise, right?
Yes.
The poll came out, the USCHO.com poll. Arizona State had a vote. We have a new number 1 with Notre Dame. some of the traditional schools are having a hard time rising in this poll right now, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think it's a little early, and part of that might be strength of schedule. We may see that change. We certainly won't for the Sun Devils, because they're just going to be tough all the way through. But I think as some teams begin to establish themselves and get some convincing wins over other ranked teams, you'll really see the cream of the crop separate itself. But I'll tell you what, right now ASU is looking good, and as long as they continue to play well on this tough schedule, I see no reason why they can't be hanging around all season.
So I got to give you an opportunity to give your thoughts on Boston College and Boston University being as lowly ranked as they are, not ranked actually, but and as low in the pairwise as they are. Thoughts?
Oh, it's unusual. It's very unusual, and I'm sure Hockey East is freaking out right now because to have both is sometimes, you get one or the other that's out and they're not having a good year, and that happens. But boy, for both of them to be as low as they are right now, two things for me. Number one, it's cyclical. It depends a lot on recruiting and getting the right guys in and getting them to grow in their roles. But the other thing too, Scott, is now you have to realize as this game, college hockey specifically, grows nationally, recruits are being pulled to other places.
Right.
And I think that schools that kind of coasted maybe a little bit before on their reputation, like a BU, like a BC, have to work a little bit harder now to entice kids to come and play for them. It's not easy, and a lot more schools are going to want to bring in those bigger names and offer more things to bring those kids in. Look, it's a dogfight now. It's getting to the point where it's going to be like college football. You'll have your traditional powerhouses, but even within those traditional conferences and where the power is, there's some weak sisters. There's some teams that have good years and then fall back into bad years, and it depends on your recruiting class. There's no summers off in recruiting anymore, I think, is what that really tells me.
So is it fair to say the word parity has snuck into college hockey?
It's getting there. I think it's getting there. I think who the haves and the have-nots are for the most part, but I think it will get there as programs like Arizona State continue to grow. You're going to see a shift.
Tom, I appreciate your time as always. It's going to be a big week in college hockey here in the Desert Southwest. We'll be back next week with a recap of what happened this past week and preview the Sun Devils trip to Penn State.
That's going to be a big one. Boy, you talk about the traditional powers and then programs rising. Penn State is one of those programs that has really risen and has really built itself, and I think that's a good model for Arizona State and a good check of where they'll be, but let's not look past UNO just yet.
Yep, let's get it all done first. As Coach likes to call it, one brick at a time.
That's right.
Well, we'll be back in with another episode of College Hockey Southwest Weekly. Don't miss another chance to see it at IceTimeHockeySW.com.